So when you have this on cold, it's fine, but when you turn it to hot, the pressure drops considerably. So I'm going to show you how to fix that in this video. If you have a low water pressure issue coming out of the shower head and it's both for hot and for cold, the first thing I would do is I would check and make sure that there isn't any kind of calcium buildup inside this. So I would take the shower head off and check to make sure there isn't any kind of blockage there. But if you only have a low pressure issue on either the hot or the cold side, then there's a couple things you need to check. One, if your house is new enough that it has a manifold, you might want to double check the manifold to see if any of the shutoff valves are turned off. If they are, or if it's partially turned off, then you need to make sure those are fully opened up. That could solve the issue. If that's not the issue, then most likely the problem is going to be inside of your shower valve. There's a cartridge that's in here that controls the flow of water between hot and cold, and it mixes the water so you get that right temperature. Those can go bad over time, and you can buy replacements at the hardware store or online. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to remove an old cartridge and replace it with a new one, which should take care of your issue. First, you need to make sure the water is shut off when you're working on any plumbing project. So once it's either shut off at the water main or at your manifold, depending on what you have in your house, then you can go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing is we need to get this handle removed. So in our case, there's a screw behind this that we just need to pull this little plug out. And then there's a Phillips screw inside here. So we're going to unscrew that. And that will let us pull the handle off. You also have a temperature limiter inside here, so if your issue is not that you don't have enough water pressure, but that it's just not quite hot enough, then you can have an issue with the water temperature limiter setting, and you can adjust that here inside of this. This is not the case with ours, so I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to remove this escutcheon plate, I believe is how you say it. I always have problems pronouncing that. I'm going to remove these screws here. Now that these screws are out, we can remove this plate and we have access to the valve. And then we'll remove this metal plate. Should come right off. Should. Well, that's not good. Really? All right, sometimes these can be difficult to remove, apparently. So I'm going to use these pliers to help pull it off. All right, so now there's this clip in here that holds this cartridge in place. We need to remove that. Now we'll need to use this cartridge remover tool to extract the cartridge from the valve. There's actually a little screw on the inside here that will screw into the front of this cartridge that will help us extract it. With this, we want to make sure that this screw is backed off enough to where this can get seated around the cartridge. So if this is too far in, it's not going to be able to get around it. So what we need to do is we need to back this off, and then we'll put this in place, and then we'll tighten this screw down. So I'll put this on here. It's around the cartridge. Now, let's screw this in place. And then we'll tighten this down. And hopefully we will be able to just take this handle and pull the valve out. Now, if it won't move, we need to take an adjustable wrench and tighten this a half a turn and try it again. I'm pretty sure this valve is damaged since it's so hard to come out. So you should be able to turn this handle and rock this valve back and forth and pull out until it comes out. Pull in, and I'm turning at the same time. You don't want to rock it side to side, just back and forth to get this out. Just apply steady pressure, not too much. Yeah, all right. So that's what the cartridge looks like. That's from our shower. And the water goes into these holes here, hot and cold, to control the flow of water coming in. This is actually what a shower valve looks like on the inside of the wall. This is the front of it here. You can see this clip that holds this in place. And then you've got this bottom piece here. This is actually for a valve that controls the tub spout. This top piece goes to the shower head, and then the hot and cold come in on the sides here. So this is what it looks like if it wasn't inside the wall. So in this one, we're gonna remove this cartridge here, and I'll show you what that looks like if you don't have a damaged one, how easy these are to get out. So first we just need to pull this pin out here at the top. Next, we'll take our removal tool, we'll put it on the end here. I'm gonna screw this down. See, these fins are on the side of this cartridge, and we can just take this T-handle and kind of twist it back and forth to pull this out. You see how easy that is? Super easy. So there's the new cartridge. We're gonna put this back in place with this shower head. Now, before I put this back in place, I'm gonna make sure there's no calcium or anything else that's inside of this valve that's gonna cause problems with the new cartridge. There are some mineral deposits inside, so I'm gonna get a wire brush to clean that out. This is a 3/4 inch wire plumbing brush. I'm just gonna put this on the inside here and just kind of scrape out any of the extra minerals that are on the inside. So that way we've got a nice smooth place to put the new cartridge in. All right, so that's what the inside of the valve looks like. Fairly clean. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the new cartridge in place. Also, before we put this in, we're gonna put on some waterproof plumbing grease. So we're gonna put that on the rubber seals, and then we'll slide this into place. You don't need a lot of this grease, just a little bit. And we'll spread it on here. Do that on the other side as well. On the front, you'll see an H and a C. You'll need to make sure this is at the top when you put this in. So we'll stick this in. Goes in nice and easy. That's all that grease we put on it. Now we'll take the pin, we'll put that back in. There's also a little notch on this cartridge model. You need to make sure this is pointing down, so that way it's off. Now we can reinstall everything. So first we'll put this metal surround back on. You put on this plate. Just need to get this snug, so that way it forms a tight seal and that this isn't loose. Next, we can put back in temperature limiter, and we can put the handle back on. Okay, now moment of truth. We've got the water back on, and we're gonna see if we've got full water pressure on the hot side. So there's cold, and if we go to hot, we still have full pressure. Oh yeah, hot water. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate you subscribing to the Top Homeowner channel, where our goal is to help you become the very best homeowner that you can be. Thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.